Mr. Tom, since you mentioned about the attacks on Qatar, reports suggest that a growing rift between US and Israel over these objectives, especially after Israeli attack on Qatar. How significant is this divergence on the battlefield, according to you? And despite heavy strikes, Iran has managed to launch missile and drone attacks on regional energy infrastructure that you mentioned. What does this reveal about Iran's residual capabilities as well?
Okay, you asked me now two questions. The first point is that of possible rift between the United States and Israel. I don't consider this for possible because the situation is very simple. The US president is incompetent, overwhelmed. This is far beyond his wildest imagination what could or what might happen in the case of this war. He was, look, in the White House, in the U.S. Administration of this president, there are people like Susie Wiles, like Marco Rubio, like John Ratcliffe, who are de facto feeding Israeli propaganda, Zionist propaganda, straight into Trump's ears. And they're telling him and convincing him to do exactly what Israel wants. And if you check videos, let's say interviews with Benjamin Netanyahu back to the 1980s, he was all the time claiming that Israel is in control of the US Congress and the public and so on and so on. So therefore, they have nothing to fear. They can do whatever they want, and that without any kind of accountability, that the United States are going to support them no matter what Israel is doing. So therefore, there can be no talk about some rift. What at most we see Trump lying about there being some kind of disagreement, or he was not informed. Perhaps he was not informed about specific one operation, but he was certainly informed that the Israelis are going to strike South Pass gas field. So there is, this is near pointless to discuss. On the other hand, Iranian capability to retaliate. Let's say this way. The Israelis have expected that the American firepower might destroy these huge missile cities in Iran, and that is, which is so because they are lacking this firepower. They have shown, clearly demonstrated last year in June that they cannot destroy the Iranian nuclear facilities, nor can they destroy Iranian missile cities, underground missile cities. So therefore, already back then, they were demanding the Americans to intervene and so on, and even reportedly threatening with deployment of nuclear weapons if the Americans wouldn't do so. So now we have the similar situation. They have, the U.S. Foreign Secretary is explaining that they had to attack Iran because otherwise Israel would attack Iran, and Iran would then retaliate not only against Israel but the Americans as well. I mean, such nonsense. But who pays you? Well, let's leave it at that. But you see how deep is this cooperation between Zionism and how deep is the version of U.S. political top by Zionism, by Zionist idea, by Zionist ideology, by this mindless psychopathic idiotism that is presently ruling both countries actually. So absolute irresponsibility and unaccountability in both countries at the top. They know it. They are aware of that nobody can do anything to them. Nobody can arrest them. Nobody is going to prosecute them for what they did. Nobody is going to do anything to them, not even to their private assets of their families or anybody else. Therefore, what they are doing is simply striking, with a hammer on the flies, on the Iranian flies around the table, and they are trying to kill as many as possible, destroy as much as possible, and so on, until before the international pressure, which is certainly going to continue increasing in the coming weeks, the longer this goes on, grows too high, much too powerful, before also the damage at home, in the United States in particular, grows so powerful that even Trump cannot ignore it anymore. This is what they are trying to do now. So Trump would like to stop this war anytime. The Israelis always answer with, no, we need another week or two, something like that. Then they are trying to provoke Iran, like with this strike on South Pars. Iran retaliates. Trump is then threatening Iran with yet more destruction. What more destruction can there be? I mean, every time you see another assassination or decapitation or however you want to call it of another IRGC commander, you can immediately be sure there were at least 20, if not 60 or more civilians killed as well in that airstrike. You see the Israelis targeting single Basijis on the streets of Tehran in complete disregard for collateral damage. So they hit a single Basiji with a bomb, and at the moment a bus is passing by, so bus is blown away, 30 dead as well. That is how they are acting. And what the Iranians are doing against this, Iranians have no chance of military victory in this war. No way can they win. They are so overpowered by the enemy firepower, but they are also well protected until they are crucial assets which they can use to exercise some sort of violence against Israel and against their neighbors. They are so well dug in, so deep dug in, that they can continue this. They're using bulldozers, dig out the entrances, which are hit by American and Israeli bombs, pull out their missiles or UAVs, launch them, went back hiding into their underground facilities, and then the entire game is repeated and repeated again and again. And this is how this is now going